NBA doubleheader on this Friday night. And after the first two quarters, the Lakers with a 45-41 lead. Kobe Bryant, the Lakers with the best record in the NBA as we look at our United States Marine Corps first half stats. At times, an ugly game. Shooting numbers down. Both teams under 40%. Woeful three-point shooting from the Hornets. As you see, the two teams exchange leads in the second quarter. Was a rocky one for the Lakers early, but they rebounded nicely and have that 4-point lead as we get set to start this third quarter. Again, a funky game with the pace, and probably the pace that the Hornets prefer. Would you say so, Jeff?
Well, I think they should try to play a little bit quicker pace. I think they're the best in transition, but holding the Lakers to 45 points, that's the recipe you have to have if you're going to beat this great offensive team.
Lakers, perhaps the most efficient offensive team in the NBA. They had their moments, not a lot of them, but they did have their moments.
Well, they certainly did, and it was because of ball movement. The reason why is because turning down good shots to get better shots. Ball movement, man movement, making the Hornets defense adjust, and then dribble penetration. And it's not about getting yours. It's about making a play for somebody else. Time and time again, when the Lakers needed it most, they relied on ball movement. 16 field goals, 14 assists.
And then on the other end, New Orleans has to look. I shot 37%, 16% from three, but my best shooters had wide open shots. 3 for 18 from three, but they were dead open shots. They would take the same shots again in the second half that they created in the first half.
So we'll see what adjustments can be made here in the second half. And with more on that, let's check in with Nancy Lieberman.
Well, thank you. I talked to Byron Scott, and he said to me, you know what? I was really happy with our defense. The only thing I didn't like is at the end of it, we fouled too much. We put the Lakers on the foul line 14 times. Offensively, Chris Paul is pushing tempo, doing what he does best, but we are not setting good screens for him. The angles aren't good, and we have to get better at that. We think we'll make that adjustment during this halftime. Guys?
All right, Nancy. As we mentioned earlier, Kobe Bryant's team, they've only lost 4 times here at the Staples Center this year, 25-4. One of those losses was to the Hornets, and it was the game that the Lakers actually led after 3 quarters, but the Hornets destroyed them in the fourth quarter. Paul had that tremendous game, and West also was terrific. Right now, though, Lakers by 4 as Odom brings it up.
For the Lakers, one thing you have to be pleased about is their defense, defensively pick and roll, defending Chris Paul. They're doing a better job tonight, making him very incisive.
So Paul sets it up. Paul leads the NBA in assists, in steals, and in triple doubles. He's got 5 of them. Stojakovic, meanwhile, still looking for his first field goal. He had a lot of good looks and couldn't get anything to go down. Shot clock at 4. West double team. Stojakovic misses again. He's now 0 for 7. Butler guarding Bryant. Poked away. Nice defense again from Butler. Here he comes down the floor. Poor transition defense by the Lakers, and Butler throws it down.
Phil Jackson standing up, obviously upset that Butler didn't get called for a traveling violation.
And that would have been a great opportunity for Butler to get Stojakovic going by dropping it off and giving it to him for a layup.
Stuart Butler getting a lot of minutes at that 2 guard. Mo Peterson, another player out for New Orleans. As Walton gets inside, draws the foul, counting 1. Luke Walton with a pretty play.
This was a good play by Luke Walton, but that is just a poor effort by Peja Stojakovic. See, you can miss wide open shots, but you can't allow it to affect the other end of the floor. Luke Walton should not be blowing by you.
And more importantly for the Hornets, West had to help out and committed the 4th foul, or excuse me, his 3rd foul. So 3 fouls on David West. 5-point lead for the Lakers. Walton having a nice game. 11 points, 4 boards, 3 assists. That's what he does. A little bit of everything. Shot clock down to 8. Odom on West. Good ball movement. Walton throws a little shoulder at Butler, who misses the jumper. And Gasol the rebound. Walton creating inside pass. And Odom can't get it. Gets his own rebound. Outworking him down low. Gasol misses, and West the board. Now, one thing the Hornets have done well is rebound. Nice pass, and Armstrong to finish. no-look pass from Paul. 8 points for Armstrong.
Well, that time, Pau Gasol upset on the other end that he didn't get the foul call. The bottom line is you didn't get the call, get back on the defensive end. You can't try and complain.
Walk on the drive. Cut off by Stojakovic, then called for the foul.
Chris Paul did a good job getting back initially and stopping his penetration, but just keeping his head up, continues to put pressure on the defense, finds Armstrong all by himself underneath.
You know, you talk about complaining about calls. I had a chance to referee that celebrity game during All-Star Weekend, and that's the number one thing that came away from it. Even in a celebrity game, they argue every single call or non-call. Every time. It's unbelievable.
But watching you referee, you should have been Wyatt at my house, because even my kids said you was making bad calls. You missed too many calls. It was embarrassing.
Paul knocks down the three. Thanks for the support. Lakers up by 6. Paul jump shot. That's good. Paul now 8 points, 7 assists. Odom goes at West, who has 3 fouls. Smart play from Odom. You can bet he knows West has that foul and knows he can go out.
But if you're David West, shut off his left hand. He's a strong left-hand driver. Know who you're guarding.
6-point Laker lead. West drives the other way. Can't get it to go. And Odom with another rebound, his 11th. Kobe Bryant to Gasol. And a blocking foul on the pass. Armstrong picks it up. Already 3 team fouls on the Hornets.
So this is just not being down in a stance, not knowing who you're guarding, and a good, solid play by Lamar Odom.
But you made the point. If you're going to play somebody in this league, take them away from what they do best. Everyone knows Lamar Odom wants to drive left.
Gasol trying to post up Armstrong, and Armstrong called for another foul. Armstrong probably the best defensive player of the three-headed centers that the Hornets are using now, with Sean Marks. Chandler, of course, is out, and Melvin Eli is the third guy. So Gasol to the line for the first time tonight. ABC on Sunday. Our coverage begins at 2 Eastern. It's the Celtics. They're out west. They'll play the Phoenix Suns. Then NBA TV Fan Night Tuesday. Mavericks and Spurs from San Antonio. And then the doubleheader next Thursday on TNT. Cavs and Rockets. And the Suns playing these Lakers here at the Staples Center.
All right, how many is Phoenix going to ring Boston up for on Sunday?
Well, they've had 3 straight 140 games. 2 against the Clippers, 1 against the Thunder. As Fisher's called for a foul. Of course, the timing of the coaching change. Terry Porter let go. Alvin Gentry has pushed the offense. There's no question they're looking to score more. And boy, if they score, those are, regardless of who you're playing, those are impressive numbers.
Sure is.
We'll be in Phoenix on Sunday. A far better defensive team.
Yeah, but without their defensive anchor in Garnett.
Who brings defensive anger?
Yeah.
Odom doubled. Nice pass to Gasol. And this is equal to the largest lead of the game for the Lakers.
That's bad defense by the Hornets. That's just bad defense, but a great job by Lamar Odom being patient. And once again, the 2 bigs of the Lakers making plays for each other.
Ironically, the Hornets' best stretch came in the second quarter when the bench was out there. Rasul Butler's jump shot won't go. Odom with his 12th rebound. He is just putting up phenomenal rebounding numbers since Bynum went out with the injury. Kobe Bryant. Nice move. Lakers by a dozen, and the Hornets need a timeout. Momentum has shifted once again in favor of the Lakers.
Well, it's just excellent ball movement. Big man looking to big men. Gasol catches it, finishes up high, and then no double team. Kobe Bryant on the back end. Lakers 8-0 run to be up by 12 here at home, where they're dominant.
It was Kobe Bryant who raves about this young man.
He's just a great person. He's just, a genuine, honest, down-to-earth person. And, on the court, he's fantastic. Just high basketball IQ and tough, competitive. And I love playing with him.
Everybody says that about him. Pretty high praise from the MVP. But he is so impressive in how he's handled all the success, Mark.
Oh, it really is incredible. When you talk about coming out of college, this guy was the package right away. Cool, calm, collective, with a tremendous amount of poise, and as fine a competitor as you'll find in this league.
And right away, he was the leader of this team. He's still only 23 years old now in his 4th year in the league as Butler and foul. Those are his numbers tonight. He has a chance to do something no one's ever done, and that's lead the NBA in assists and steals in back-to-back seasons. He did it last year, and right now he leads in both categories this year. John Stockton did it, but not in consecutive years. And Stockton back in the late 80s and early 90s. All can do it consecutive seasons.
You think about it, the 2 best point guards in the league by far came in the same class. Aaron Williams and Chris Paul. And I don't know, it depends on the day of the week who you think is better.
Right, I was going to say that if you had to pick, who would you pick? A lot of people say Paul because he's a little flashier at times, but I don't know who I'd want to take.
Talking about 2 of these guys would be all-time greats. When you look at the way that they go about their business, they play, they are true maestros and a joy to watch.
Paul, back shot, that won't go. 2 guys, if they continue the way they're playing, they're going to be in the Hall of Fame. Odom, nice pass. Paul's the assist leader, but Odom with some pretty feeds. That's his 4th assist.
Luxury of Amal, a big guy that can rebound. Tell the guards, go down the floor and be ready, and then make the right play.
Stojakovic finally gets one to go. He was 0 for 8 before hitting that jumper. Just past the midway point here in the 3rd. Lakers up by 10. Bryant to Odom, and Odom backs it in. Odom having another one of those games. Playing so well since that injury. Stojakovic for 3. Back-to-back shots for Stojakovic.
I like the fact that he's still shooting the basketball. Shooters shoot. You can't turn him down. That time Luke Walton falls asleep. Chris Paul delivers the ball.
Only the 4th three-pointer made by the Hornets in 20 attempts. Bryant misses. West has done a good job on the boards. He's in double figures there. West jump shot. Luke Walton the rebound. Walton's had a terrific game. Got a season high points. Right on cue, he throws it away. And here comes Paul, who's going to get an easy layup off the Lakers' 7th turnover. This game has just had a funky pace throughout.
You're the Hornets. You want it to be ugly. The Lakers are the superior team. Make it ugly, hang in there, and then find a way to win it when it matters most.
Odom double and foul. Although, Jeff, you were saying a little bit earlier that you almost think that you'd like to see him push it a little bit.
Yeah, I really do believe from last year to this year, one of the biggest differences is they just don't have a consistent push it mentality up the floor. They don't have a big man up ahead to flatten out the defense, and I think Paul gets in this very mid-tempo type of speed, almost running to get into a pick and roll versus running to get it into the lane as quick as he could.
Does Chandler's return change all that?
Only if he runs. This year, one of my biggest complaints about Chandler was he forgot who he was. He's an energy effort player who was always ahead of the ball, running down in transition on offense and then back on defense.
Well, you make a great point because big guys that run the floor, even if they don't get the basketball, have such a tremendous impact on the offensive end of the floor because the defense has to collapse and it opens up so many opportunities.
West, well, that's a tough shot. Steps back on 1 foot. He's in double figures. Got a double-double with 10 and 10.
You see West and Nowitzki shoot that shot going to their left off 1 foot from 15 to 17 feet. That's an incredible shot.
Derek Fisher, his first field goal. Fisher's done a good job defending Paul. Paul thought he got fouled then, as Fisher poked it away. They've let them play pretty much most of the game. Alley-oop to Bryant. Bryant very upset. He thought he was hit. As Odom with another assist.
I think we should just have everybody say on every trip that they were fouled. It makes it easier. We can clear up that right away.
Makes it easier for everybody but the three guys with the whistles. And there's a whistle.
This is just a good read by Bryant. They're leaning on a little three-quarter front. Good eye contact. Good pass, no ball pressure by David West on Lamar Odom because he's playing him for the drive. So if you're playing him for the drive, Rasul Butler's got to know you got no help over the top through ball pressure.
Free throws for West. Only the 9th free throw attempt by New Orleans.
Here's West is playing him right, shading him to make him drive to his right hand. So he doesn't have ball pressure. So if you're Rasul Butler, that's just very, very poor defense.
There wasn't a lot of contact there to argue, but some of those, when you get up in the air, the slightest contact, you get concerned about getting hit when you're up in the air.
No, and sometimes, let's just call it like it is, players overreact. You know, Chris Paul in that same sequence tried to foul Lamar Odom, did foul him, didn't get it called. I mean, it's like sometimes these guys just get carried away and want to always take their deficiencies and put it on the referees.
Butler stays on him again. He's got decent numbers, but it's not been a good shooting game. Fisher from way downtown. Bryant the rebound. Butler now, he's the latest. He thought he got knocked down. Back up to 12, under 3 to play here in the third. Lakers trying to increase on their NBA best record. West jump shot won't go, and that's interference above the cylinder when it was touched, so credit 2 points for David West. Lakers, by the way, this 44-10 start, it's the third best 54-game record in the last 10 years in the NBA. Pistons from the 06 season and the Mavs from the following season. They're the only ones to be better. Bryant fouled on the drive. And the penalty, so he'll shoot either way. So we'll take a timeout.
And it's the versatility of Lamar Odom, a big guy that can put the ball on the floor, make a play towards the rim. How about rebound the basketball? Start the fast break. Chris Paul in the backcourt collapses, and Lamar Odom continues to play. Offensively playing at an all-time high when you talk about his confidence.
He's averaging 13 rebounds a game in the month of February. He's reached that mark already.
All they've done is they picked up an intensity and we stayed just where we were in the first half. Everything they're getting right now is to the basket. They're putting their heads down. They're putting their heads down and just trying to beat us off the dribble. That's the bottom line. We got to get ready to play defense right now. We got to be a little bit tougher than what we are right now.
You know, last year, those type of talks, Byron Scott didn't have to give a lot because of the way they played. Is there a reason that the fact that, you know, last year they were the team that was surprised everybody, now they're the hunted? What's the reason why you lose that edge sometimes on a regular basis? I mean, they're still a good team.
Well, there's a lot of different reasons, but one could be that you're so used to things going your way last year where you don't have to beg them for energy and effort. Sometimes you just coach some front runners where things are going well and they go that way. You don't have to beg them for energy, effort, intensity. Right now, Byron Scott is doing too much pleading as a coach.
And that's the worst thing you have to talk about, to me, is to talk in-game about effort. In the game, you should have to only talk about how you're going to try to get better shots, how you're going to prevent better shots.
There's Ariza, Trevor Ariza, the finish off a steal. And this is the largest lead of the game for the Lakers. Trevor Ariza making his presence felt once again. Two minutes remaining here in the third. It's a 14-point game. West deflected, another steal. Fisher to Bryant. Bryant the finish. Lakers rolling here in the third.
something you can't do on the road against an elite team is turn the basketball over and give them easy basket opportunities.
Butler, boy, do they need that. A three-pointer for Rasul Butler, who's in double figures with 14.
I'll tell you one other thing about New Orleans is 2 years ago in particular, and even last year, they ran more stuff than just pick and roll. They ran the semblance of the Princeton offense, more options where there was more player and ball movement.
It's not been easy. The Laker defense very aggressive here in the third quarter.
Well, active hands. Trevor Ariza, you don't have to preach to him about energy, and if it comes off the bench and immediately has an impact, comes up with the steal, and then off to the races. Derek Fisher, active hands, and mama, there goes that man. The drop off to Kobe Bryant. The dunk in transition.
Fisher off the mark. With just over a minute remaining. Fisher, going in. My mistake. And we spoke earlier today about the passing of Larry Miller, somebody who certainly has fond thoughts of the owner of the Utah Jazz. Is Derek Fisher with more on that. Let's check in with Nancy.
Well, thank you, Mike. He was very solemn. Derek Fisher was in the locker room before the game when he was asked about his relationship with Larry Miller. He said he was an extremely passionate individual, very unassuming, but very much front and center with the guys. When his daughter was sick, Larry gave him the blessing to take whatever time he needed regarding his family to make sure that she was okay. He said that he could have been the type of owner that said, look, we need you on the court. But it was never like that, and Derek will never forget the kindness that Larry Miller showed him.
All right, Nancy. Fisher only played the 1 year in Utah, but obviously Miller made a big impact on him.
Well, think about what Utah did when Larry Miller headed that up. When Fisher wanted more to be in a different city for the care of his daughter, he let him out of his contract. That just doesn't happen in the NBA, where you let a valuable contributor to a very good team go and move on for nothing.
We wind down the third quarter. The Lakers do have a foul to give. There it is. Fisher picks up his fourth. 6.8 remaining. Jordan Farmar checks in for Fisher. Fisher upset with Scott Foster. Final seconds here in the third. A strong third quarter. Blocked with a foul. Odom got a piece of him as well. Doesn't agree with it.
You know, if I was an official, I wouldn't take this.
Don't ever say that. Don't ever say if I was an official.
No, I'm just serious. First of all, these guys, their patience level with these players tonight is incredible. I would have given easily 5 to 7 technical fouls right off the bat. This is a joke. These are clear fouls. If a guy complains on a, bang call, hey, I can live with it. But that's a foul. How are you going to complain about that?
I'm so glad to hear you say this.
No, don't encourage him. You can't give a technical foul in that situation.
I would, because of how they've acted the whole night.
Ariza, that'll count if it goes off the mark. And that ends the third quarter. And a strong one for the LA Lakers. They put up 34 points on the board in the third, including 10 from Kobe Bryant. And as we head to the fourth quarter here at the Staples Center, it's the Lakers with a nice, comfortable 13-point lead.
Lakers up big over the Hornets. Coach, what are you doing differently on defense to create so many points for yourselves?
We're getting our hands on some balls. Disrupting passing lanes. That's a little bit of a help for us. And we're trying to pack it in enough to supply help for West and on Powell. So that makes a big difference that we knock the ball away once or twice.
Describe the difference in Lamar Odom's game the last 6 or 7 games, the impact he's had.
Well, he has a leadership role on the starting unit because he's got a guard role. He plays at the top of the floor. He handles the ball a lot. He gets opportunities to rebound and push the ball. And, it's just liberated him a little bit.
All right, thank you so much, Coach. Mike?
It certainly has liberated him, Nancy. As Odom having another strong game. He's the subject of our Jordan Field general breakdown. These last 5, those are such impressive numbers. The high shooting percentage. Another double-double tonight. the versatility of Lamar Odom in full light here this evening.
As a player, there's times when you get into a tremendous groove, and right now Lamar Odom is in one of those. He has to recognize that he can't go back to the old Lamar Odom where he's just another guy on the floor. He's too good to go back to that.
Shot clock at 7. Josh Powell in against West. Laker bench for their 5 out there. Powell call for the foul. Hornets running back. All right, what do the Hornets need to do, Jeff, to get themselves back in?
Well, they didn't play any defense in the third quarter. Everything was just too easy. And then offensively, they got to get into their stuff quicker. When they're isolating West, they're not moving the ball in their bodies quick enough.
Posey knocks down a 3. And a timely shot. They have struggled from three-point range. 6 of 23, then that pulls them back within 10.
And that'll help. Knocking down shots, because Phil Jackson said, hey, we're packing it in. We're basically playing West and Paul. You knock down shots, it's going to create opportunities for that.
Gasol knocks down his 7th shot of the night. He's got 16. Eli, point-blank range, can't get it to go. Posey picks up Farmer on the switch. Now shut off nicely. It's a tough shot to take 2 guys on. Here's Paul. Gets the foul, banks it in. Throws it hard off the glass. Pretty play from Chris Paul.
And this is the pace I think they need to play at, because they have limited half-court options. When he gets ahead of steam, he is very difficult to defend. And I just think he's playing at too slow a tempo and just running it up or jogging it up to get into pick and roll, when those assaults on the basket are much more difficult to guard.
And I think if you're Jordan Palmer, you have to be upset with your bigs. Give me a little bit of help, run back, and stop Chris Paul from penetrating. Give me a second.
Paul likes that change of speed quite a bit. And, you think of certain guys like Iverson or Barbosa, you say, boy, they're so fast. You don't necessarily say that about Paul, because he plays this kind of a methodical way at times, but he really is super fast.
What makes him even tougher to guard is because he's deceptive. There's times when he'll lull you to sleep, and then all of a sudden a burst of speed, and he's gone.
Meanwhile, a reaching foul call on Butler. 3 on Butler, 2 on the Hornets. Farmar, Ariza, Vujicic, and Powell. 4 reserves, and Powell is all out there for the Lakers. Powell left open, not hesitating to shoot, way off again. And here comes Paul.
And this is the unit that got the Lakers in trouble in the first half.
Paul knocks down the jumper, and it's back to 7. Every time the Lakers start to pull away, mini run from the Hornets keep them right there. Gasol was fouled. Some hard fouls. One official had it on a pass, another on a shoot. And Gasol's going to shoot.
You have to be disciplined enough to say, hey, we're going to make Chris Paul a scorer and a jump shooter. As long as he's not getting into the paint, we can live with it. But Chris Paul says, I will take that. Thank you very much. Knocks down the jumper. Hopefully for the Hornets, it can establish a rhythm.
Well, Paul has improved on his outside shot. He's shooting 50% from the field and 37% from three-point range. Doesn't take a lot, a little more than 2 a game.
And you would think that teams will realize that and say, hey, we have to play him at the three-point line. But they're not going to change, because he does too much damage to your defense when you allow him to get into the paint area. So you will live with him knocking down jumpers.
Farmar trying to put some pressure on him. Ball, nice feed. Eli, the finish. That's the 10th assist for Chris Paul. And it's again a 7-point game.
You just shoot the jumper enough where you keep him honest. That time, Pau Gasol had to push up a little bit, leaving his man. But Chris Paul,
Scott Foster just telling Eli, stop it. He wanted to turn around and argue that call. He was banging Gasol. Eli picks up his second. 13th foul.
And hit the jumper previous to this, so now he comes up the screen. Pau Gasol said, I can't leave him wide open. Your job is to stop him and then get back to your man. Pau Gasol stays too long. Chris Paul picks the defense apart.
And Hilton Armstrong must be hurt because he's played too well to not be in there ahead of Sean Marks.
Armstrong sitting right now as Farmar knocks down the shot. Ball to West. West, little ball fake, drives, gets inside, count it, and a foul. David West again brings them within 7, but still plenty of time here in the 4th.
Well, again, Paul baited him. David West, you got to know when you close out. He's a good jump shooter, even though he's a right-handed player. He wants to go to his left hand on every closeout.
And that's a good example we talked about, not settling. That time, David West was a jump shooter. Pump fake in the air, getting to the thick of the defense, and easier basket.
West been in the top 10 in free throw shooting in the league all season. Knocks that down. And it's a 6-point game. Largest lead for the Lakers was 16. That was late in the 3rd. Hornets slowly getting back in. Vujicic for 3. In and out, halfway down. And Posey tracks down the rebound. Here comes Paul. Finds an open jumper. Butler for 3. Rasul Butler knocks it down. It's a 3-point game.
Off of the play of Chris Paul, pick and roll and assassin. Gets into the thick and then finds wide open shoot.
Last time these teams played here, the Staples Center, the Hornets dominated the 4th quarter. So far they've done it here. The Saul double team. Farmar pass inside. West went to steal it and got burned.
You got to give Phil Jackson a lot of credit. I mean, he is one cool customer over there because if I was coaching the Lakers, you think I'd be ordering a steak right now because I'd be yelling, Kobe, Kobe.
Mark's jump shot won't go. He's letting his reserves play through it. Doesn't call a timeout when the lead was cut to 3. The starters continue to rest. Farmar for 3. West has had a good game on the board, 12 rebounds. Just over 4 minutes gone by here in the 4th. It's a 5-point Laker lead. The road team has won all 3 previous games between the two. Lakers won twice in New Orleans. Butler, not a good shot. Gets all the rebound.
Well, Sean Marks is on the floor, and they're going to ignore him. You got to throw him the ball. Standing wide open underneath the rim.
Now to Farmar. Tough fall away. That won't go. Lakers just 42% from the field, but they've done very well from the free throw line. Pass inside. There's the pass to Marks. Got it. Blocked. Vujicic, nice defensive play to force the jump ball. Now they'll jump it up at the Hornets free throw line circle, but we'll have a timeout first. The Hornets have outscored the Lakers 16-8 here in the 4th. They're back within 5.
No, really. I mean, think about the fall for the Detroit Pistons from the Eastern Conference Finals last year. 59 wins to where they are now.
Chauncey Billups, meanwhile, has the Denver Nuggets with the 2nd best record in the Western Conference.
But I think that's almost too easy. Like, this is not all on Allen Iverson going there. Allen Iverson is still an effective player. I think they have been disjointed offensively. And I think, Mike, they have missed Flip Saunders and his ability to coach offense and defense, both ends of the floor. I think they've missed him tremendously.
Saunders a terrific coach. Meanwhile, a loose ball on that jump ball, loose ball foul that is. And it's going to go against the Lakers. As Bryant now comes into the game. Phil Jackson. About the call. Vujicic, his 2nd foul. He'll sit down. You see the Hornets taking advantage with Kobe Bryant sitting. That's the idea. You're an opponent. Just over 5 minutes gone by here in the 4th. Hornets trying to win twice at the Staples Center this year. Posey for 3. Puts it in. James Posey makes it a 2-point game.
That's just a good read overall by the Hornets offensively. Chris Paul with the skip pass, the solid screen from David West, leaving Posey wide open.
Ariza hit, shot won't go. Posey comes over to help out, charged with the foul. Now Ariza will shoot 2.
You wonder, how did he get so wide open? Well, it's because of the solid screen. David West not allowing Kobe Bryant to run to the body of James Posey all day long, and that's what he does.
Well, after a woeful start from 3, they're starting to knock down some shots. They're 3 for 3 from that distance here in the 4th.
Hold on. Are you saying that screen prevented anybody from even trying to get to James Posey? I mean, I know the positive. We're celebrating the game and all that, pointing out all the good stuff, but that was a total lack of effort by the Los Angeles Lakers in a 4th quarter. Are you kidding me?
You know what? You corrected yourself several times throughout the course of our relationship. I will say Kobe Bryant died on that screen. Get the man a pillow. He laid on the screen of David West.
Oh,
I apologize.
Ball down the other end, 3-point game. West, tough shot off 1 foot, and Gasol the rebound.
And you compared it to Dirk Nowitzki, that shot. That's a shot defensively I'll live with. That's a tough shot to shoot.
I agree.
Fisher for 3. Bang! Lakers back up by 6.
There's a guy that played with me in the park. He would take that shot when it be point game. I'd never pick him after that. That's a horrible shot.
Butler, nice shot. Butler doing some nice things. He's got 19 points to lead the Hornets. Butler, a former 2nd-round draft pick.
And that's a good cut as all 5 Lakers are staring at the ball. Nice cut by Rasul Butler.
And out for Bryant. Chris Paul comes away. Paul with his 5th rebound. That's his season average. Little guy with ability to rebound plus all the other numbers. Got 17 points, 14 assists. Gets inside, lobs it into Marks, and Sean Marks finishes, and it's back to 2.
And that's what we were talking about before. If they're going to totally disregard Sean Marks and overcommit to Paul and David West, you have to find him, and then he has to finish.
Marks his first points of the game. Under 5 minutes remaining. Bryant drives on Posey. Bank shot is good. Pretty play from Kobe Bryant. He's got 28. Paul to West. Butler for 3. Puts it in. Rasul Butler. And it's 1 point with 4.5 to go.
We talked about it in the first half. Too many wide open looks. The difference right now, same defense, is that the Hornets are knocking those shots down, led by Butler.
Their 4th 3-pointer of the 4th quarter. Marks trying to pester Gasol. Comes up short. West another rebound. His 14th.
And if you're going to give Gasol any shot, you want him to shoot the face-up jump shot.
Ball on the drive, finds Marks. Marks blocked, but a foul. Another pretty assist for Paul. Would have been if he knocked it down. And Marks will shoot free throws as we have a timeout.
It's just Chris Paul, time and time again, making plays. Gets it to Marks. Lakers do a good job not allowing him to get to the basket, forcing him to go to the line. But Chris Paul is absolutely doing his thing in this 4th quarter.
So Sean Marks will go to the free throw line with a chance for the Hornets to take their first lead of the 2nd half. Right now, they're down by 1. 4:03 remaining here in the 4th. Kobe Bryant and the Lakers clinging to a 1-point lead. Bryant, a little earlier, had a chat with his former teammate, Hornets head coach Byron Scott.
I am glad you're missing them easy ones tonight. I appreciate it. Can you miss them for the next 7 more minutes, though? That's what I want you to do.
No, sir. No, sir.
No guarantees from Kobe. Those two played together in the 96-97 Laker team. Kobe was a rookie that season as Byron Scott returned to the Lakers in his final years in the NBA. And now coaching. Scott has done a terrific job. Of course, former coach of the New Jersey Nets when they went to the finals. And he's done a great turnaround job here in New Orleans. And Chris Paul have a superb relationship.
And no secret. Byron Scott said before the game, the Lakers' greatest weakness is defending the pick and roll. Well, our greatest strength is running the pick and roll. He said tonight you will see a lot of that. And that's how they found themselves back in this ball game.
And Marks, second free throw. Won't go. We're all tied up with 4 minutes to play. And the Lakers have only lost 4 home games all season, one of them to New Orleans back in January, and the Hornets dominated the fourth. Well, so far they're dominating this fourth quarter again here at the Staples Center. Bryant with Posey on him. And a travel. Bryant doesn't like the call as we send it over to Nancy Lieberman.
Well, I went back to the locker room. Hilton Armstrong, he has back spasms. He is icing down. He will not return to the game. He was playing well with 8 points and 6 rebounds so far, guys.
All right, Nancy, Jeff, you were right. That's why Armstrong did not get back on the floor. Ball double, gets inside, kicks it back out. West with Fisher on in. Shot clock down to 7. Down to 4, and a foul on Luke Walton. And they're in the penalty, so Paul will go to the free throw line with a chance to give the Hornets the lead. The last time these two teams met, the Hornets outscored the Lakers 27-13 in the fourth quarter. And once again, the Hornets now with their first lead of the second half. They've outscored them 28-14 so far in the fourth.
I'll tell you what, if you're Kobe Bryant on the offensive end, James Posey playing very physical, what you have to do is make a quick, tough move, put pressure on Posey, and find a way to score or get to the line.
What a turnaround for the Hornets. Down 16 late in the third. Down 13 here in the fourth. They lead by 2. Walton misses. Marks had a tip. Gasol back up. Won't go, and West the rebound. Crowd screaming for a foul.
See, to me right there, he should have been going by Gasol and pushing it instead of running down the shot clock.
Throws it cross court. Butler, pull up, 2-pointer. That won't go. Rebound to Fisher. Under 3 to play. Fisher on the drive. Fisher the runner. Offensive foul. They wave the basket off. 5 fouls on Fisher. Let's take a look. The crowd obviously not happy with the call.
Well, I like the decision by Fisher to push it hard up the floor. He's in the restricted circle when that contact takes place. Very difficult call to make. Should have been a basket with Derek Fisher on the line.
You talk about down the stretch, making plays, Chris Paul being the facilitator. Time and time again, threading the needle, getting guys involved, pushing the ball in transition, fast break, putting pressure on the Lakers. And how about Rasul Butler doing a great job of doing exactly what he's asked to do, knock down shots. Time and time again, if the Lakers lose this ball game, it wasn't just Chris Paul, but also the Butler did it.
Butler with 8 points here in the fourth as our GNC game track. 29-14 in the fourth quarter. Again, they outscored them in the fourth quarter 27-13 back in January here at the Staples Center. And this is one of the toughest places in the NBA to win. Hornets with a chance to do it for the second time this season.
And David West and Chris Paul played the entire second half.
Chance of defense and an offensive foul. Sean Marks. Ball for a moving screen. And that's the first turnover of the fourth quarter for New Orleans.
Derek Fisher doing a good job of trying to fight through or beneath the screen. Sean Marks that time did not allow.
He was clearly moving. Fisher handled it, played it well. Posey on Bryant. Bryant, short. Rebound, Rasul Butler. 22 points for Rasul Butler and a big rebound right there. Kobe Bryant just 1 of 3 from the field here in the fourth quarter. Under 2 minutes remaining. Butler fakes the 3, little pull-up for 2. Won't go. Odom the rebound, his 15th of the game. wants the ball. Odom backs up. Odom wants to take marks on the drive. Right-handed. Gasol tips it in. Foul Gasol on the follow. And we're tied at 95.
Well, that's what Phil Jackson wants Lamar Odom to do. Be aggressive. Make plays, and that time allowing Pau Gasol the offensive putback.
A sellout crowd with a thunderous defensive chant. Paul double team, gets away on the drive, kicks it out. Posey for three. That's good. James Posey from downtown. The Hornets 5 for 5 from three-point range here in the fourth.
Pick and roll by Chris Paul. I'll call you if I need you. Finding Posey.
Ball batted away. Fisher for three. Off the mark. Walton tips it, but right to Posey. Posey falls down. But last touch by Walton, and it's Hornets ball.
Give me some James Posey on my team. Big shots, big rebounds, unafraid to defend the best player in the world in Kobe Bryant.
17 points, 8 rebounds, and excellent defense from Posey. Get it out of Paul's hands. West on the drive. West kicks it out. Butler, little fake. Back up top to Posey, and he throws that out. There was 2 on the shot clock. Excellent Laker defense in that sequence. 36.9 remaining. Lakers do not need a three-pointer here.
No, but they will be trying to get a quick 2 for 1, I would think.
Bryant just 2 points here in the fourth quarter. Gasol trying to set a screen. Bryant on the drive. Ball to batted around. Stolen by Paul. Paul on the drive. The fake drives in. Offensive foul. Fisher draws the charge. Laker ball with 20 seconds remaining.
Really one of the few times you'll see Chris Paul make a mistake, immediately taps his chest and say, my fault. Pull that basketball out and force the Lakers to foul.
The shot clock was off, and they needed to force them to foul. Paul thought he had an opening and made the mistake.
Well, I think this is a great defensive play. I disagree. To me, this is a 2-on-1 with the best point guard in the world. Dish it, dunk, up 5.
Instead, Laker ball down 3. Lakers will have it when we return with 20.1 remaining. By 3, Chris Paul, with the shot clock turned off, made a decision.
Well, this is very good defense. Good deflection, good steal. And right here is the decision. Do I pull it or do I push it? To me, it's a push-it situation. 2-on-1. Drop it off to either Posey or Butler, so you're up 5.
Derek Fisher led the NBA in drawing charges last year. He's been either 1 or 2 this year. All right, with 20.1, what's the strategy for the Hornets with a 3-point lead? Do you foul and not let him hit a 3?
Well, there's too much time left in this ball game to foul right now. You want to play solid defense and look to get a stop.
The Lakers need to shoot a quick 3, Jeff. Well, Fisher's got a chance, a 3. Bang! Tie game!
Poor defense by Paul, but I love this decision by Byron Scott. No timeout, go for the win.
Lakers do not have a foul to give. Crowd, a sellout crowd on its feet. Final seconds. Paul for the win. Off the mark. Gasol the rebound, and we're going overtime. Derek Fisher with another clutch three-pointer. So many in his career, and he'll force the extra period here at the Staples Center.
With 20 seconds left to go, you don't want to foul. It's too much time, as I said, but you want to play solid defense. You got to talk, communicate. Chris Paul thought it was a switch. It wasn't, leaving Derek Fisher wide open. Excellent read by Pau Gasol. Big man that can pass the basketball, puts it on the numbers. Derek Fisher knocks down the long ball and love it.
Big shots from the veteran. Put 5 minutes on the clock. Hornets and Lakers going to OT. Overtime at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. Derek Fisher with a clutch three-pointer and a tie the game at 98 after the Lakers blew a 13-point lead. They led by 13 going into the fourth. Chris Paul was magnificent in the fourth quarter. They came back, actually took the lead. But now we go to overtime, and just such a thrilling game when you have these two great stars like Kobe Bryant and Chris Paul. But, Jeff, a lot of these support players made big plays down the stretch.
Well, they did. Rasul Butler did a very good job in the fourth quarter. Derek Fisher, obviously, the big shot. Chris Paul, 2 critical mistakes down the stretch.
No, we just finished talking about it. The thing with this league is, if you're the Hornets, this is a game you should have won. Down the stretch, not making the plays you're supposed to finish out ball games, and that's frustrating as a player and also as a coach.
Now, this is the first overtime game of the season for the New Orleans Hornets. Only team in the NBA that hasn't played an overtime game. Ironically, they've been a great overtime team. They've won their last 13 games that have gone to overtime, going all the way back to the 05-06 season. But this is their first chance. That 13 straight is an NBA record. Meanwhile, the Lakers in overtime this year are 1-1. Foul trouble. The only player with 5 is Fisher. Gasol with Marks on him. And a foul call on Sean Marks. Threw a little forearm there. You shoot the penalty in overtime on the 4th team foul. 4 fouls on Marks. Fisher, Posey chasing him now. Fisher steps back. Jump shot. Short. Odom the rebound. 16 more rebounds tonight for Lamar Odom. Inside pass to Walton, and Walton gets fouled. So 2 quick team fouls for the Hornets. Lakers will inbound. 5 fouls on Chris Paul. He's the second player with 5. Again, these teams have played each other 3 times. The road team has won all 3. Lakers twice in New Orleans. The Hornets here at the Staples Center back in January. Kobe Bryant, double team, still knocks it down. He only had 2 points in the 4th, but 2 big ones here in OT. Ball to West. West on the drive, got hit. He's swinging. Posey on the drive, and he's fouled. They're calling it a little tight here to begin the overtime as Walton picks up his second.
Kobe Bryant on the right block is going to turn to his right shoulder to the middle predominantly. You got to angle your body so you try to force the turnaround to the baseline.
Interesting thing, Brian Scott said we're going to play him for 36 minutes straight up. Down the stretch, we are going to double team Kobe Bryant.
Short jumper is good. Ball now with 21 points, 16 assists, 5 rebounds, and throw in 4 steals. Not a bad line for Paul. Bryant dribbles away from the double team and puts it in. Great play from Kobe Bryant.
See the difference that time attacking James Posey rather than fading away and shooting a jump shot. He turns the corner and gets to the rim.
Ball to West. Quick jump shot. Won't go. Marks tips it. Walton comes away with it. 8 rebounds for Luke Walton. Was a season high 14 points. Bryant wants Posey all by himself. Here comes the double team. Walton the jump shot. Rebound Posey. You're right, Jim. He is just so unafraid of a big moment or making a big play. Paul forced up the shot. He thought he got hit. He's very upset. Odom to Gasol. Back out. Kobe Bryant. Inside to Odom. And he's fouled. Free throws coming out for Lamar Odom as Posey and Odom jaw at each other.
That's the right read from Kobe Bryant. A wide open three-pointer, but continue to put pressure on the Hornets. Lamar Odom wide open underneath, turns down the jump shot and gets the basketball. But I love the way pushing it in transition. You got 2 bigs that can pass the ball and then don't settle.
So Odom to the line. He's only 2 of 5 from the line tonight. He's been a very erratic free throw shooter for his career. Hit some big free throws the other night against Golden State. It's a big one right there.
And I like this lineup that Byron Scott's put on the floor. With Stojakovic, even though he struggled all night back in the game. David West at the 5. Now you're going to really spread the floor well for the West. Paul pick and roll.
Oh, give me a shooter that's struggling rather than a non-shooter that's on fire. Any day of the week. Peja Stojakovic is a shooter. He just has to be ready.
2 clutch free throws there from Odom. 2.5 remaining in OT. Sports Center coming up after the conclusion of this exciting game, and a foul call on Gasol. That's going to be his 3rd. The Hornets will inbound.
Pau Gasol, you're doing your job. You're trying to stop Chris Paul from getting into the interior, trips Chris Paul, but live for another possession. Don't allow him to get to the cup.
That's one way to stop him.
That's a yellow card in soccer right there.
West making his move. Crossover, stripped by Fisher. Derek Fisher with another strong defensive play. Henry drew the big charge, and of course hit the big 3.
Instead of James Posey defending Kobe Bryant as Russell Butler.
Bryant gets in, shot blocked by Butler. Russell Butler with a terrific rejection. Posey for 3. Won't go. Gasol the rebound. Under 2 to play. Lakers by 4 in overtime. Bryant wants the ball. Posey trying to poke it away. Shot clock at 5. And Bryant tripped up. Paul fell down. They played it well. With 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Bryant pushed Paul after Posey knocked the ball loose.
And that's going to be Paul's 6th foul. Oh, you look like a little bit of a right shove. Paul certainly thought so, as he fouls out for the first time this season. Watch the right arm. Hard to tell on that. What a game for Paul, but it's over tonight for him. Here's a better.
That's a foul on Kobe Bryant or no call. And out of bounds going the other way.
Well, that absolutely should have been a foul because it allowed Kobe Bryant to get the basketball. So Chris Paul was 100% correct, and I might add, so were you, Coach.
Look at those numbers. And Paul's going to have to watch his team down by 4 as Kobe Bryant goes to the line for 2 here in MVP chance.
The problem for the Hornets right now is no Chris Paul, so it breaks up what you were doing all game long. Daniels is not the same threat in pick and roll as Chris Paul.
Russell's been sitting over there for about an hour and a half.
Second foul in the last 2 minutes, and that's why Bryant at the line. He's 8 for 8 from the free throw line, now 33 points. Including 5 here in OT.
The first half with no Chris Paul, Byron Scott decided to go post up in isolations for David West.
Bryant and Posey drawing at each other a bit.
And you know what I like about Posey? He's not saying, Kobe, you played a really good game tonight. Can you please like me? Like a lot of players in this league do. My man comes to compete.
He's made some big plays, but right now his team down by 5, make it 6. Still plenty of time, minute and a half to go, but the Hornets down by half a dozen here in OT, and they don't have their leader. Daniels on the drive. Nice shot is good. Nice play from Antonio Daniels after sitting for such a long time.
Well, that's a good read. Recognizing Derek Fisher went underneath the screen. Daniels, not a jump shooter, puts pressure on the defense and gets to the cup.
His first points of the game.
And to me, this outside shot has to be taken by Odom or Walton.
Odom against Stojakovic. Looking to post up. Won't go. Posey the rebound. Under a minute remaining in OT. Daniels. West West has Fisher on him. West going to use his height advantage. Kicks it out. Butler for three. It's good. Russell Butler from downtown, and it's a one-point game again.
And a bad defensive trip for Luke Walton. Allowed David West to post up Derek Fisher. You have no help responsibilities guarding Butler. 5 threes for Butler.
Again, you've got to double Kobe Bryant and make Walton or Odom shoot a jump shot.
There's the double. Bryant gets inside, banks it in, and a foul. Kobe Bryant with a chance for a three-point play as the Lakers go back up by 3.
But if you're Rasul Butler, you're hugging Luke Walton in the corner. Come in to help and let him kick the ball out. And if Luke Walton knocks it down, tip your hat to him. Here, Posey lays on the screen. West, toward pick-and-roll defense, and Rasul Butler staring at the best player in the world, trying to arm help instead of put his whole body in front of the ball.
Kobe Bryant only had 2 points in the fourth quarter. He's got 9 here in overtime. And Byron Scott calls timeout. A huge clutch play from Kobe Bryant, who's got 37. And the Lakers have a little breathing room. Timeout Hornets with 23.6 remaining. It hasn't been an easy one for Kobe Bryant, but he's made the big plays here in the extra session.
So what I love about it is when it matters most, forget about shooting jump shots. Make a grown man move. Getting into the thick of the Hornets defense, attacking the help in David West. That's a spectacular play when it mattered most. Kobe Bryant to the cup, gets the contact, and then knocks down the foul shot.
Lakers had a tough, gritty win on Wednesday against the Warriors in Oakland. And here, a game they blew a 13-point fourth-quarter lead. We're up by 16 in the fourth. Almost blew this game. Hornets had a chance to win it at the end of regulation. Their goal is to get the best record in the NBA. They want, if they're in the finals, they want to have home court here at the Staples Center. And they play with this type of intensity almost every night.
Well, they certainly do. And the thing I would be concerned about is they seem, watching the other night against the Warriors and then tonight, there's certain times where they feel like, okay, we can turn it on and win ball games. You have to be upset with giving up certain possessions and certain things from other teams.
Well, I think defensively in the fourth tonight, they did the same thing. They just sort of coasted through the game, caught up to them, and they were fortunate to get to overtime, and now the greatness of Kobe Bryant is coming through.
Of course, Derek Fisher hit the biggest shot of the game for them to help offset that near collapse in the fourth quarter as they were down by 3. Fisher knocking down this three-pointer to tie the game. And the Hornets had a chance at final possession, but couldn't get a shot from Chris Paul to go. Butler. He's had the hot hand, drives inside, draws the foul, and 1. Gasol made some contact, and Butler with a chance for the traditional three-point play. He's got 27, which ties his season high.
And we've seen some bad plays by some star players in this league. Chris Paul leaving Derek Fisher. That time, Pau Gasol allow Rasul Butler to get to the cup. The worst case scenario is a three-point play. That cannot happen.
The Hornets will have to foul if they can't force a turnover. Butler with a season-high 28, one-point game. They double team. Lakers have to get it over in 8 seconds. Fisher does that.
But they should have fouled Lamar Odom. They had their chance. They double-teamed Bryant. Good decision not to foul. Antonio Daniels cheat up, go for the steal, but foul immediately when it comes to Odom.
Fisher, meanwhile, an 81% free throw shooter for his career, 85% this year, and he's 2 for 2 tonight. Now, even if he makes these, it's still a three-point game. 110-108. New Orleans still has 2 timeouts remaining. But if they don't have Chris Paul, he fouled out for the first time in a regular season game in his career.
And I'm not going to take a timeout here. I'm going to have a three-point play already in my arsenal to do it on the run.
Especially when you have shooters around the floor.
And Scott this time will use one of his final 2 timeouts. to draw up a play now because they still have a timeout remaining. Do they need to go for the three? Are they starting to run out of time, or can they get a quick two?
Well, first of all, they had trouble getting it inbound in 5 seconds the last time because of the switching and denying by the Lakers. But you have to get it in and create the best shot you can in the quickest amount of time. What's a 2 or 3? You just want a quality shot. You can certainly take it to the rim, make a layup, and then play the foul game.
All right, Mark, what about from a defensive standpoint? At one point, do you say, we're not going to let you take a three, we're going to commit a foul? How much time left before you start thinking that?
Well, the Lakers, if they don't go right away, then the idea is the foul. Once it gets under 10, immediately you have to begin to think, okay, we're going to foul. We're not going to allow them to get off a three-pointer.
And I'm going to tell you this, in my experience as coaching against Phil Jackson, he does not foul. And I think it's hurt him a number of times. And I'm not sure when it gets down to a certain amount of time, and I would say 8 seconds or below, why teams have not incorporated that strategy.
Right.
Once you catch the ball above the three-point line, if I'm coaching the Lakers right now, I'm looking to foul. I'm not going to allow you to get off a three-pointer.
Hornets still have a timeout remaining. Posey, quick three-pointer, won't go. Fisher the rebound and immediately fouled by Daniels. Posey rushed the shot a bit, and with 10.5 remaining, the Lakers can pretty much secure it with some free throws now.
The frustrating thing is, no matter what your theory is as a coach, whether you foul or you don't, it's eliminated in that process because that's a catch and shoot off the out-of-bounds play. So Pau Gasol had no choice but to try to contest. Lakers got away with it. This is just bad defense once again when it mattered most. James Posey comes off. That's a good look offensively for Posey.
And I think what they were trying to do is do some switching, and there was a lack of communication right there about who had the first cutter and who had the second cutter. And like you said, they're going to win the game, but those are the type of plays that can haunt you in late game execution at the defensive end of the floor.
Fisher, such clutch plays down the stretch. Daniels on the drive, kicks it out to Butler. Butler fires away. That's good, a three-pointer. That makes it a two-point game. Not over yet. Bryant is fouled with 3.5 remaining. And a key here, Kobe Bryant misses one or both, as the Hornets still have a timeout remaining.
And as a coach, win, lose, or draw, here's what you say to the Lakers. Okay, fellas, let's look at the big picture. Let's look at the mistakes we made down the stretch, and we have to correct them before they come back to bite us down the road. We're playing against teams that can beat us on any given night.
Lakers, meanwhile, terrific from the free throw line. 30 for 36. And Bryant's been perfect tonight at the line. All right, that makes it a three-point game. He gets this one, game's over.
And if he misses it, the idea is to foul. There's no question about it then. You have to foul.
He's at 10 points in the overtime. And gets it to go. And Byron Scott will use his final timeout. So Kobe Bryant, 11 points in the overtime. And now the Lakers lead it 115-111 with 3.5 remaining. And the guy we've talked about a number of times tonight, Derek Fisher. Fisher making two huge defensive plays, drew a big charge on Chris Paul. Also made a key steal. Of course, hit the big three-pointer. Guys like that, you just love the way Fisher's still able to contribute on such a high level.
Well, here's what I love about Derek Fisher. He's not afraid of the moment. It doesn't matter who he's playing, where he's playing, and what game it is. Game 7, game 1. Here's a guy not afraid of the moment, defensively, offensively. Just a spectacular, big-time player, Coach.
He is, and that play right there is a very... Most players give up on that play and just allow the layup. And then here, Kobe Bryant's greatness right there attracted both defenders, which spaced the floor for Fisher. Good pass by Pau Gasol, and a great rhythm three by Fisher.
As soon as this game's over, ESPN Sports Center coming up next, including a full and exciting night in the NBA. Daniels to West. Fakes three-pointer West, and that'll do it. Lakers pull out a gritty win. They blow a big fourth-quarter lead, but come back, hold on, and win in overtime as Chris Paul and the Hornets unable to get their second victory of the season at the Staples Center. And the LA Lakers improved to 45-10. Kobe Bryant, 39 points, 11 in OT, and he's with Nancy.
Well, thank you, Mike. Kobe, wonderful effort in the second half by you. I want to know first, how did the Hornets get back in the game in the fourth quarter?
Three-point plays. Both from behind the arc and also going to the basket.
How did you get control of the game back in overtime?
Well, I just wanted to attack. I was missing a lot of easy ones, and it was important for me in overtime to take my time, knock down those shots.
Are you surprised that your team is 8-1 since Andrew Bynum went down?
Well, I can't say that I am. Last year we played a big chunk of the games without him, so this team's kind of used to playing without him. But that being said, we can't wait to get him back in the lineup because we miss his defensive presence in the interior.
How important is a game like this for you guys to measure where you want to be as you make a run for a title?
It's a little tough. We did okay tonight. We felt like obviously Tyson being out here, a different ball club, still very competitive. But we did okay. We still got a lot of room for improvement.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations.